We off in this place, catching vibes, sit back and we blaze in the sky like I'm out of space. Natural high, light it up, light it up.
What's going on, cigar world? What's going on? Hold the hell, what is going on? There we go. What's going on, cigar world? What's going on, cigar enthusiasts? This is Jack, the cigar enthusiast, and I'm back with another banger. And today we are doing our original. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. This portion of it. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Can you guys hear me? Go ahead and hit them comment boxes and say you can hear me. But anyway, what's going on, guys, man? This is Jack, the cigar enthusiast, and we're back with another segment of the Virtual Smoke Deck podcast original, Cigars and Business Talk. This is a segment that we usually do when we don't have a guest schedule or we decide to not schedule a guest. For this particular week, we did supposed to have Rick Rodriguez from CAO Cigars coming in, but he's on an airplane right now, headed to Arizona. So anyway, we step in where we need to step in, and we're about to deliver a action-packed show. So if you guys are new to the channel and watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and give us a huge thumbs up. And if you're watching on Facebook, don't be the only one to share this information. And make sure you go ahead and press the share button, press the like button, engage, hit that comment bar. Let me know that you're watching with us, because I am all about supporting you and putting you on the show, man. Shout out to Jeanette. Thank you so much for tuning in. My brother Andrew, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Make sure you hit that comment bar to go ahead and get a shout out, man. I appreciate you guys. So anyway, I know right now is kind of a bad time for everybody, but the show must go on. The playoffs is going on. A really good game, an action-packed game earlier between the Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. Really good game, actually. I didn't think it was going to be that close of a game, but it actually was. What's going on, Brody? I didn't think it was going to be an action-packed game, you know, as close as it was, but you know, things happened in that game that was like, huh? Why is that happening? But then on the other hand, it was just a good game. And then you got the Saints and the Bucs playing right now. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, because I know you could be doing anything but watching this beautiful guy on your screen tonight. Shout out to my beautiful wife, always tuning in. I love you, girl. But anyway, man, today we got an action-packed show. So I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'm going to give you the nit and gritty on everything that we're doing, and it's going to be great. So a couple of things, couple of updates before we actually get going into our segment, which tonight on the Cigars and Business Talk segment, we're talking about the power of e-commerce. It's really based off of this question that I got last week while sitting in the interview with Dee, which is the Royal Leaves CEO, last week from a viewer. That particular viewer is named Nicholas Allen, and he asked some questions about e-commerce and how it plays a vital part in the actual business growth of a company. So, you know, when he asked that, we dove into it, and then we jumped right back out of it to get back into the program. But I wanted to dive into it today, because I think it's a program that, you know, probably some of you guys are probably wondering about, as well as for people that's looking to start business, is something that you should definitely be thinking about. But without going into that too far, we're going to go ahead and go over some keynotes that we need to put out, some things that we need to put out. We are officially 2 weeks out. I said it, 2 weeks out from the opening of Dapper D's at 725 Skymarks Drive, Jacksonville, Florida, 32218. 2 weeks. So that means starting today, we are doing a 14-day countdown. And the place is still in shingles. You know, it's walls have been hung, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done but I feel confident in my general contractors as well as my project management team on making sure that this actually happens. Now, there is some things that for all my Jacksonville, my Duval folks that's out here watching, there is some things that can slow this down. And I want to make sure that we are aware of those things prior to this 2-week countdown to the soft opening, which the 2 weeks countdown, we're going to do a soft opening with a ribbon cutting ceremony. Our Diamond and Gold members will be there. And yes, we do have Diamond and Gold members already. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, as well as some of the local news, as well as hopefully we can some of our city councilmen and stuff like that out there as well to support. 2 weeks. We're looking to open January 31st. And coming to this thing with a bang, man. It's a lot of work that's building up to it. But like I said, I feel confident in our team. Thank you so much, Brody, so much for the congratulations. I feel confident in our team being able to do this. The second part is, if you haven't been tuning into the YouTube channel is really taking a dynamic shift. The dynamic shift is really allowing us to more tap into me versus all cigar knowledge and all this other stuff. Yes, you can do it. Yes, I have done it, but yes, I want to get more in tune with something else. We also have another form of podcasting coming out that I will host that will more likely be a daily show. We have not figured out the details of it. I want to throw it in the atmosphere because if you speak it into existence, then it shall happen. We have another one that's going to be more of a daily podcast show that's going to be epic. It's going to be different. It's not going to be something you've seen. And if you see it in the podcast arena, I want you to make sure you tag me because I will really be shocked. The idea came from a great guy. He gave me the kind of the idea. I was like, hey, I think you'll be dynamic for this. Let me know what you need to do it. So it might work out for its benefit. We don't know yet. Ashley, thanks so much for tuning in. We will be on her show in April, I believe. I'm gonna start posting those days closer to the time, but make sure y'all tune in. They go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a great show. Definitely a good little network to be in. Anyway, okay, so memberships. So for everybody that's looking at how they can become part of the Dapper D's Cigars family, right? Especially in Jacksonville. If you're in the Duval area and you're looking at memberships, go to dapperDcigars.com/memberships, okay? And it breaks down both memberships and perks that comes with each membership. If you're looking to get into the membership of Dapper D Cigars, get a locker, get a polo, some free sticks, all of that other stuff. Central Standard Time. If you're looking to get into those things, then make sure you go ahead and give us a call. Go onto the website, look at everything so you know what you're going to get. Give us a call so we can get you scheduled for the memberships. If you want to learn more about it, man, give me a call on the on my business phone and Dapper D Cigars .com memberships. I'm gonna actually share with you guys a quick little breakdown of it, so you have it and you can see it. But here is our membership page. You go to our actual website, click memberships, and then you go to the club membership. It breaks down everything for the club membership. And then it also tells you to give us a call if you're looking at it. We have two different memberships, a diamond package as well as a gold package. The diamond package comes with polos, some free sticks, 10% online, 10% in store, access to diamond members events, and then 10% off of all booking events, which is major savings into that. You're talking, if you utilize it right, you can probably save over $2,000 a year. And then we have our gold package, our more economical friendly one, which is $75 a month, $900 a year. You also get a polo. You get a locker with your name on it, but you only get 10% in store. And then some other, perks that kind of goes along with it. So honestly, the Diamond membership is really your bang for your buck. You're going to save so much in just that alone. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and hit that. Call us, let us know so we can go ahead and get you set up. So again, January 31st, we're on our campaign trail, our 2-week campaign trail to get open, and it's going to be major. One thing about Dapper D's, for everybody that's looking into it, we are here to set the vibe, set the ambiance, and really control it. Dapper D's is just a foundation to everything that we have to do. There is a bunch of things that is going to happen here very soon. When I say soon, the next 2 years, that's going to be mind-blowing for a lot. But we're moving. We're moving. Hey, kind of getting off the announcement part of it, let's get into some stuff that happened this week. 25 top cigars of the year by Cigar Aficionado. Let's talk about it. I heard a lot of people moaning and groaning and saying, "Oh, Cigar Dojo's is better." You know, all the other cigar of the year list out there was better. It honestly shocked me. I was actually talking to my EPC rep on Thursday, Wednesday, whatever day before it actually released. And he was like, man, people are really thinking that Pledge is going to go #1. And I'm like, how do they think that? You know, Pledge was a limited edition cigar that was only released to 30 retailers throughout the nation. So a lot of them was a top select ones. And obviously I'm not there yet because we haven't opened our brick and mortar, but you know, it was crazy to see that this limited edition cigar took you know, #1 for 2019. I mean, for 2020, and they hit #1 with the Majestic Encore 2018. And they've been floating on that list for a while. I mean, personally, I haven't smoked it yet. But it's crazy to see that one above, you know, Fuente and then above Padron. And I even with the Padron, I'm looking at it and I said the Hermoso. Now, if you guys don't really know, Hermoso, it's just part of their 1964, you know, natural collection. But they have so many dynamic cigars that, you know, from the 45th, the 45th, excuse me, the 45th, the 44th, the 80th, the 90th. There's so many different cigars that they could have chose from Padron. To think the Hermoso was crazy. And then #4 is the La Mission, Otar. I hadn't even heard of that. Where did that even come from? I mean, if anybody's heard from that, man, hit the comment box, because I haven't heard of that. I don't even know where they sell them at. And then my personal favorite that this is actually the Toro. The Robusto is the one that made the list. My personal favorite that I was telling everybody about when it first dropped, it was the Alec Bradley Gatekeeper. And to see abundance of people kind of flocking to that cigar is really crazy, because it's like, hey, where were you listening? You wasn't listening to Jack, huh? Jack is that moron that has no clue what he's talking about when it comes to cigars, right? Well, I do. And it's crazy that they actually put that #7, and then the Rocky Patel #6. When I seen that at #9, I was just like, I said, that is weird. Because when I personally smoked that, I didn't really enjoy that cigar too much. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I didn't enjoy the #6. It's really, I guess, a cigar that is palate preference. And then see, shout out to Eric Espinoza with the Warzone. The Espinoza family and brick and mortars out there, I know they love that one. And then another one that's been a sleeper, hitting #15, is the La Aroma de Cuba. A phenomenal cigar, especially the one that hit the Edición Especial. I think that is a freaking phenomenal cigar. But I mean, it was really good. But I feel like a bunch of cigars missed this. You know, if I was part of that, you know, team of putting it together, it was like, how, where, and why wasn't the Aganor Salif Visionaries from the Torch series on there? Because that Torch, that Torch is at least a 94 rating, at least a 94. And to see it not on the list, but it was on dojos, but it wasn't on cigar aficionados. I think that was crazy. And just, you know, just some of the cigars that made it, I was just like, it could have easily been swapped out. But, you know, here on the Virtual Smoke Deck, yeah, we like to talk about this stuff, but that is not why we're here. So that list is definitely has some controversy behind it, and it definitely needs a fine eye. Jack, the investigator, is going to look into this. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I do think it missed some great cigars that should have been on that list that was not on the list. But anyway, going into our segment for tonight, our actual segment that we're supposed to do, for everybody that's new to the channel or new to the Virtual Smoke Deck, the Cigars and Business is really a podcast original done by us only, where we dive into cigars, but we also dive into business. And I always try to teach some type of form of business or something that can help your business grow. Some things that you probably overlooked in the process, or if you're looking to start, just probably ain't never thought about. And today we're talking about the powers of e-commerce. Now, I said this, excuse me. One thing I hate about these segments is I never really get to smoke my cigar. I never get to smoke them how I want to smoke them. But anyway, it came about in last week's segment with D from the Royal Leaf. And one of the viewers, Alan, Nicholas Allen, asked the question and was like, what is the impact that e-commerce have on, you know, businesses? And I think it's a good one, especially it was a great question, especially in today's society where a lot of people are shopping online and where a lot of people are looking for the deal versus, you know, supporting their local lounges that they love to go to, but rather shop online. Now, I have a different stance on this because we actually started our online segment, our online e-commerce store before we actually launched our brick and mortar. And the purpose of it was supposed to be a build up to the lounge. It was a conjunction between the two that would allow us to be able to market, you know, everybody across the world as well as here in Jacksonville, so they could see kind of what we're going to be doing. Now, e-commerce is one of those things that is really dynamic in itself, and it's in today's society. If you do not have one, you're definitely missing out on money. You're missing out on aspects of your business growth. Everything is about growth. Everything is about growing your business. If you don't have an e-commerce and the ability to actually grow plateaus once your brick and mortar or whatever your industry is gets to that certain point. Now, we're going to talk just about the cigar industry because the cigar industry is one of those. The cigar industry is one of those industries that is very old school. It's very old school. A lot of the manufacturers have an old school way of doing things. But then you see people like Terrence Riley. You see people like Nick from Foundation Cigars. You see people like Robert Hope from Southern Draw Cigars. You see people like Nick Perdomo from Perdomo Cigars that have really understood that social media as well as e-commerce is becoming the wagon wheel of the cigar industry. Now, you can't just sit here and say, well, I'm only going to support brick and mortars. Yes, we want to support brick and mortars because they are the foundation behind small businesses, which makes up 65% of the businesses in America. But we also got to understand that part of those brick and mortars is trying to have e-commerce website that can compete. So a lot of them are putting stipulations to really stop, you know, people from getting hit over the head by the mega companies. And I have no particular problem with any of them. I'm just using them as a reference before I say it, such as Cigar International, JR Cigars, Smoke Inn, Neptune, Corona. Those mega companies have large substantiating footprints in the e-commerce website realm, cigar bid in the realm, because, you know, they have figured out that in order to grow our business to the point that we want to grow it, we have to have e-commerce. We have to push our e-commerce. Now, one thing with the e-commerce and pushing it, it really, especially in our industry, it really impacts your amount of inventory. So a lot of these stores, right, especially Cigar International, even Cigar Bid, and Cigar Bid doesn't really have a store. It's literally a big warehouse of stores in which, a big warehouse that stores all these cigars. So when you buy them, they just ship them out. It's a warehouse. So one thing about it is when you start getting into the e-commerce, if you're not ready for the amount of explosion in inventory wise, it's going to plateau. It's going to minimize your ability to expand your business past your imagination. You know, when everybody open up businesses, they have a vision. Well, I tell you what, if you have a big enough vision, it won't go past it. But if your vision is small to, I want to see this store successful, I want to see this, I want to see that. If you add an e-commerce website, it blows past it. That's why people people sell their stuff via Amazon. Amazon has a business portal where you can just sign up and sell, you know, whatever it is that you want, just like Facebook Marketplace, just like, you know, PayPal. They have these portions where you use their name to sell your product, which ultimately gives you credibility, because that is everything dealing with an actual e-commerce website is credibility. How are you getting that? How are you promoting that? And what are you doing to get that there, right? So now that we understand really, you know, how to tap it, a topic came out, and understand really what e-commerce is. Obviously, electronic commerce is a website. That's it. For all my people that don't really know, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but just in case, we hit that wicket. So when you're looking to expand your business, it's really one of those things that really is dynamic, and to making sure that you can create a lateral all the way fulfilling the customer that is all the way in Oregon and the customer here in Jacksonville. It's all about trying to get that footprint out there. A lot of people will say, well, Jack, you know, why e-commerce? You know, you support brick and mortars, but then why you have an e-commerce? Again, it's an extension of what my business actually is. It allows me to touch those untapped markets and to be able to fulfill those customers' needs everywhere. Now, understanding the dynamics of it really goes into big, bolder details. Now, a lot of people go to these websites and understand that the website is, don't understand that the website is attached to a smaller company that has limited resources or limited revenue streams to dump into inventory. I tell you what, I know a lot of people don't, you know, care or understand it. But for those that aren't, you know, retailers in the cigar industry, but love smoking cigars, let me tell you this: to have an abundance of inventory in a humidor, right? Let's just say 500 to 1,000 facings, okay? Plus overhead to supply, you know, box sales and replace boxes here is upwards to $200,000. I kid you not. I know people are like, oh my God, well, you make so much money off of that. That's not a guarantee, because how my brick and mortar operates is not the same way another brick and mortar operates in California. What sells in mine may not sell in theirs. And it's all based on your environment and how up to date they are in the industry. So if you got a group of people that don't care about limited editions and they only care about the horses, you know, your Padrones and My Father and Alec Bradley and, you know, all these other companies, then when you introduce a boutique brand, they won't support it because they're based on the horses. So it really based on, you know, understanding your market, understanding what they want. Now, when you get to, you know, introducing those different lineups, those boutique brands and different things of that nature, it allows you to kind of get into a groove of what people want, what people like. Now, on the other hand, on the e-commerce side, it's all over the place because that equation no longer works. What you usually would have for your brick and mortar does not work for everybody because, again, you're touching all of those points throughout the United States, not just Jacksonville. So you may know what people want in Jacksonville, but you may not know what people want in the world, or what's the top sellers in the world, or the United States for that matter, or Canada for that matter. And that's a good way to understand it. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you know, why don't you just put, you know, stuff on your website to help us sell? Let me tell you something. When people do that, right, what happens is what happens to all those big stores. All those big stores, i.e. Neptune, i.e. Coronas, i.e. Smoke Inn, i.e. Cigar International, i.e. Thompson Cigars, all these places, they may have had the vision to expand, but I don't think they had the vision to expand in the magnitude that they wanted to expand. I know personally that some owners literally expanded their brick and mortar locations because they needed space to hold all their inventory for their e-commerce websites. That is what I'm saying. So yes, you're going to bring in revenue, but when you bring in that revenue, you got to bring in inventory. Now, when you bring in inventory, it's going to create a expense of where you have to store this stuff at. All right, you follow me? So understanding that when you go to Dapper D Cigars, which is far from, you know, a selection that you will see on Cigar Bid or Cigar International, whatever the case may be, when you see that selection, you know that personally, you hearing it from me, that we purchased our entire inventory, and nothing that you see on Dapper D's will not be carried in our brick and mortar location, because I don't have the revenue stream to make it to the point where I can pop up stores here to suffice for, you know, that one cigar that one particular person smokes and only wants to buy 3 cigars at a time. That becomes a thing, because now I got to open the box and I have to put it in a humidor. I want to keep the freshness and quality of my cigars, so therefore I have to find storage, proper storage for it. So the larger your e-commerce grow, the more inventory you get, the more overhead that you actually you make for yourself, because now you're trying to keep up with, one, the orders, 2, the inventory, as well as growing the business and all. So, you know, I think for sure that one thing that killed a lot of companies in 2020 when the pandemic hit was those companies that was really, I wouldn't say coupled, but really, what's the word? Really stuck in their ways on understanding the power of the internet and the power of the web. Like, it is so much that goes into that portion alone that if you cannot get out of this bubble and think outside of it, then you're going to get caught inside of it, which causes businesses to shut down. That is why you should always have revenue streams outside of just your store. Shipping, making whatever the case may be, something that's going to create yourself, that's going to allow your business, it's going to allow your business to grow even in those tough times, even when your store can't be open. And that's e-commerce. Now, e-commerce, I personally, this is not to boast or brag or whatever the case may be. I personally created my entire website. And I personally created my entire website not from a software designer aspect or knowing how to create websites. I watched YouTube. I found a great host that can host my website, and that is how I created my website. Now, what it took to run that website, you don't want to know that. Because in all actuality, I had to turn an entire room into a walk-in humidor in my house. An entire room. because I don't have one in the store. And at the time, I was thinking, well, you know, I do this to push the store and help it grow and all of this stuff. And man, it's going to be great. I didn't think in my mind that, man, as soon as I posted this, that I was going to get the abundance of support that I actually got. Because you look at the people that's been doing this for so long, it's 25 years, you know, 20 years. This is how long they've been doing it to get them to their successes now. And it's like, wow, we not even a year old and being open. And I mean, the amount of support we have gotten over those couple of months has been overwhelming. I wouldn't say, take that back. It's not overwhelming. It's I'm overjoyed about it because yes, it's been great, but in all actuality, I had to fight with my wife because I'm like, look, we need to turn this into there. I have to humidify these cigars. We have to keep them until the lounge opens up. And she was like, let's do it. Let's go. So that's exactly what we did. But again, in all actuality, it takes me back to that aspect. If you want to have these things or your business grow, you have to have an e-commerce website to help you do it. But you also got to understand that it's just not, you know, post it here, they buy, you get, you ship. It does not work like that. You need to have the inventory on hand because then you get things like Christmas where, you know, mail carriers are really slow. They're overloaded and they're not able to get the mail out to you. So in turn, that affects your customer's outcome or customer's ability to have a successful experience with your company. I tell you what, quick story. Before I decided I was going to work into, I was going to open my own cigar lounge, right? Come on. There you go. Right before I decided I was going to open my own business, I worked for a company. I'm not going to say the company's name, but I tell you what, I sold surgical tools and instruments. So they did this a lot where they were taking orders. They was like the middleman. They were taking orders, ordering from another company, getting them in, sending them through inventory, and then shipping them out. Now, what I used to experience that while I was selling those things, I used to have some very disgruntled customers call me and tell me, hey, I submitted this order a month ago. It still hasn't went out. And it was such a disconnect from the actual warehouse to the customer and even us, the sales agents. It was such a disconnect that you didn't really know what to tell them because, yes, they were promoting themselves as a company that's been around for some years, that has, years of experience, but their operation wasn't lateral. It wasn't them taking on everything. They were subcontractor here, subcontractor here, subcontractor here, subcontractor here, and then try to make the money from there. So when it came to like big bids, you was always getting, wiped out by other companies that have a lateral movement in their actual structure of their company. So when they would have that lateral movement, they can, oh, we can get this and we need this tomorrow. We can get it tomorrow, ship it out, and this will be the price versus let me order this from China and order this from here and order here from here and here and here. And then we'll put your order together, do our sterilization to it and send it out. It does not work like that. It does not allow you to actually build your business in a sufficient way that's going to keep people coming back. I pride myself on allowing our customers to have a direct contact with me, right? I have people that, call me, message me, all that stuff and say, well, what do you recommend? Well, I'm having a problem with your website, or I don't really know what I want. Can you help? Whatever the case may be, you have a communication to me versus, hi, thanks for calling Dapper D's. How may I help you? Versus, hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Hey, man, yeah, I seen your message. You see what I'm saying? It allows that connection piece, but that connection piece only goes so far if you're not able to deliver, which is why, understanding your inventory, understanding how you can, service your customers is dynamic in everything that you do. So ultimately, understanding the cost of it, especially in the business plan development aspect of it, of how much it's going to cost to do a website, is something to take in account. Yes, you can go on this. You can go on and set up a e-commerce website. Yes, you can sell things as you make it. Yes, you could do what I think a lot of people do, is post things and then mark it sold out the next second. That way, it kind of tricks you mentally to thinking, oh man, their business booming. So next time it comes out, I need to hurry up and go. Great tool. But in all actuality, when I look at it, I'm looking, maybe they didn't expect the inventory or the success that their e-commerce was going to bring them. They didn't have the inventory. They didn't have the financials to build that inventory. So what you typically see is bring in the order, 2-week wait time, ship out. That's exactly what it is that you see. So thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate you. So the point is you have to understand that when you're going through this process, you have to take that in accountability. One thing that you do not want to do is depend on your e-commerce to fund or force the growth of your company. Because at the end of the day, if you're banking on something that is going to just sit there and allow people to go to at their leisure, then your business plan or what you thought was going to work is unsuccessful. Your job every day is to market that, to drive people to it. Everything that you do is to drive people to your website. Now, the point I'm trying to make is you also have something when people don't want to go to your website that you can fall back on and build up. And as you build this up, you're still taking this along with you. I tell you what, I'm not going to get into my profit margins and different things of that nature, but a lot of companies look at their online e-commerce as an 80% revenue generator for their company. Now, yes, it works. Obviously, you got successes like Amazon, Walmart, Publix. Yeah, it works. But look at it like this. How big are those companies? How big are those companies to where at the end of the day, you don't see something on a commercial, on a Facebook ad, on a YouTube ad that does not drive you to their website? Those companies is huge. I don't have to tell you that if you're looking for something, where to go to look for it at. Everybody and their mama gonna tell you. Go to Amazon. Amazon, I know Amazon gonna have that. Amazon definitely you're gonna get it cheaper at Amazon. My point is that because they have pushed the agenda to drive you to their website, then they in turn are able to build up the company. Now, Amazon has generated majority of their income from the e-commerce website, but that's not the whole story to them. It's not. They're not just Jeff Bezos is not the second richest person in the world because he drove people to the website. Amazon factories are made because the abundance of orders and things coming in is an overload. So in order to suffice for that overload, let's build one here. Let's build one here. Let's build one here. Let's get them closer to those areas in which we're servicing. So theoretically, the goal is, even here in Jacksonville alone, we have 3 Amazon locations. 3. Yes, it drove, but Jeff Bezos has his hands in a lot of stuff. He has a robotic company that helps operate that entire warehouse. You know, from the production line to drivers to everything, which drives it. Even when you're driving down driving down the highway, what is it doing? When you see an Amazon truck, what does it do in your mind? It drives you to the website. Amazon. Our price point compare everything that we buy in the business from Amazon and all these other companies, which it's not really a good thing, because then you get into cigars, you price point Dapper D's compared to Cigar International, which I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna start, you know what I mean? But we usually beat them every time because I did my homework. No, but seriously, you know, it's because we did, you know, everything to put our business up. And I guarantee Amazon has a bunch of people, even Walmart has a bunch of people that scout each other's website to make sure that they're delivering the most affordable price on a product that they possibly can, so they can compete with each other. Yes, it's not competition, it's co-opetition, but it's competition, right? You know, I read this book by 50 Cent, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, man. He drops a lot of gems in that book. So if you haven't watched it, haven't read it, go ahead and read that book. I'm telling you, you're going to take so much out of it. 50 Cent talked about how when he, and y'all probably like, well, how the hell does this compare to a website? I'm going to tie it all into it. 50 Cent said that when he was coming up, him and Oprah, he didn't really like Oprah because he felt that Oprah didn't like majority of the stuff, didn't really like the rap music that he felt like was majority of the stuff that he was putting into his songs. So he said, if I can't be friends with you, I'd be enemies. So what he did was he, you know, talked bad, talked all this, and eventually people talked to Oprah about him. And then eventually they end up meeting through Oprah's best friend. I want to say Gail or something. I don't quote me. Anyway, and he said in reality, what that did was it allowed him to get into Oprah's mind, not in a more of a emotional or turmoil way, but the name 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, kept going into Oprah. So as he did that, he realized that if we can't be friends, then we got to be enemies, but it's all healthy competition. That's exactly what it is that Walmart do, and that's exactly what it is that I do with these companies. Yeah, I'm not going around talking bad about them, but what I'm saying is, you know, in order to drive the success of my business, then I have to keep in mind of those businesses that I want to reach. So therefore, in my mind, those businesses are competition to me. I want to be where they are. How do I get there in half of the time? And that is the business plan. So in order to do that, you got to have an online presence. You got to have an online presence. We talked about operating. We talked about inventory costs and how to successfully run that. But one thing that is a big misconception is that shipping must be cheap. Everybody offers free shipping. If they don't, I'm telling you, you consumers will eat it up and be like, oh my God, they don't, you know, they don't offer free shipping. And then one of the biggest caveats to why somebody should check out somebody is because you don't have to pay for shipping. Let me tell you let me get a little bit deeper into how shipping is actually calculated to a point. It's free 100% around. Well, all the way around the board. They convert the shipping costs, and they broke it down into a number that says, well, if I sell X, Y, and Z amount of these, then that would allow me to afford no shipping. Or like Amazon did, said, you know what? I can offer free shipping because I'm going to invest into companies to start a delivery service, and they will be subcontracted out by us. So now, again, you got that lateral movement where I have my own airplanes. I have my own trucks. I have my own delivery service. So I can control how much it costs for me to ship something. Now, companies like Dapper D's, a smaller company, we have to figure out a way to still, because nobody says, oh, these are these small brick and mortar or these small websites that you should support, and understand that they're small. So this company is a lot bigger. They have superstores all over the country, and that they're not going to necessarily fall in line. That would be too considerate. That's not the case. When people look at Dapper D's, they be like, why do I gotta pay shipping? Because honestly, I haven't got it to a point where I can break down that equation and sell what I need to sell to make up for that profit loss. Because it's definitely a profit loss. I tell you, one of my biggest expenses at this current moment is not inventory, it's shipping. It's shipping. I had a guy make a huge order. I'm not going to tell the price tag. He blessed our company very well, been a big supporter of our company. But he got mad because he made the shipping. He made the order and was like, he made the order. Thanks, Lit. He made the order and was like, well, I should be able to get free shipping. Your order was X, Y, and Z amount of dollars. That shipping fee that you paid is a fraction of what the shipping costs actually cost. So, in all actuality, I can hike up my prices to fill in that gap or that void for the shipping cost or the profit loss that I'm going to get from shipping, offering free shipping, which in turn is going to make you pay more money on the product just because you want to see $0 on shipping. Now you say, Jack, well, that doesn't make sense because Amazon offer free shipping and they got the cheapest prices on the market. Yeah, you're right. But understand this. Walmart, Amazon, any big company has created a lateral scale within their company for them to control their expense. They don't need UPS to ship their boxes. They may subcontract UPS out based on negotiations on how many packages they will get to keep that name relevant. But honestly, Amazon doesn't need it. Walmart doesn't need it. They can literally control that process. Hey, you don't see no Dapper D delivery service around here, okay? You're not. Now, that is one thing that we're going to be doing to here in Jacksonville. We're going to have a delivery service within a 20-mile radius from our shop. But again, you may save on the delivery, but it's still going to be a fee. Domino's don't deliver pizzas for free. You pay a little fee, delivery fee, and they expect you to tip. So with that being said, if you don't understand those things, then as a consumer, you're like, man, this dude ain't even offer free shipping. What kind of business is this? This is 2021. Everybody should offer free shipping. Doesn't work like that. Again, you got to understand the costs and expenses that goes into play here. You have inventory costs, storage costs, all of these other details that go into here. And then you have shipping in the middle that's branching. Everything else branches off of shipping. In order for it to get to you, it costs. It costs from my pocket, which I don't mind that. But if I'm already discounting cigars below MSRP, then come on, man. We got to create some wiggle room here. We got to understand that I'm not Cigar International. I'm not Cigar Biz. I think you even pay shipping on Cigar Biz. I may be wrong. I don't shop those no more. But I mean, the thing about it is the power of e-commerce is revolutionary for businesses. You need it to grow, but also for those that's not looking to open a business, for those that, want to, support small businesses and stuff like that. You need to support, small businesses. Support them, but also understand that when you support them, you're supporting them, right? That means you're supporting them by paying, $10, $13, or $7 in shipping, which, let's just be honest about it. You'll go to McDonald's and spend that at lunch. Something that it takes you literally 20 seconds to get, It could be fresh, but it could not be fresh. But you're gonna pay that on a lunch, which you don't even talk about, you know, their profit margins on that. We don't want to get there. But what I'm getting to is, hey, look, it's chump change. I tell you what, if you're worried about shipping, then 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be smoking, because this is a hobby, not or a luxury, not a necessity. So when you spend your money on this, yes, you want to get, you know, a bang for your buck. But when you're looking for quality, when you're looking for the things that go into making sure that your experience is successful with that company, then you got to understand it's going to cost you a little bit more. You're never going to hear from any customer mouth, even if it took them 30 days to receive their package, which is out of my control, that, oh, my cigars wasn't fresh when I got them. Because my goal is to put time and quality in making sure that you receive your product and are ready to go. Nobody's ever going to walk into Dapper D's and go into the humidor and be like, that cigar got mold on it, or that cigar hard, or that, because that's not what I deliver. I deliver quality at the most affordable price that I possibly can, which even then competes with your big stores. So understanding e-commerce and understanding how it can elevate your business is everything. Now, for people that's not looking to open businesses and all that stuff and don't really care about it, understanding that supporting small businesses is everything. You heard it right. 65% of America is composed of small businesses. So when you support them and you say, I'm going to put in my card to make this order, you're supporting them legitimately. Point A to point B. Powers of e-commerce, you have to have it to grow your business. You have to understand that the overhead cost to run an e-commerce is not nothing. It's there. I'm not going to tell you guys what I have spent, but I tell a lot of people, oh, he does this. He does the virtual smoke deck, or Jack the Cigar Enthusiast for money. We had that already. I have spent more money trying to do this versus the money I have made. So let's just be frank about it. So when you look at it, you have to make sure that you do your homework, you understand your market, you understand your consumers, you understand what it takes to deliver the product at the most quality standpoint that you possibly can, and that's how you do it. Power e-commerce, guys. E-commerce is important. You need it. You have to have it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. It was a deep one. I hope we got the point there. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching on Facebook, every Sunday at 7 o'clock, we are live with the virtual smoke deck. And I tell you what, next week we have another action-packed. Actually, Susie, stay on, man, because we got Susie from Lit Torch. She has an app that is a cigar lounge locator. So whenever you trying to travel or go somewhere, you can literally get on her app and scroll, put in the area in which you're looking for, and it pops up your actual pops up all the cigar lounges local to your area. She will be on talking about that app next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait to dive into it with her. Man, Thunder, thank you so much for tuning in. You be safe and take care as well. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, man, make sure you go ahead and hit that follow button and like button at the virtual smoke deck right there. The virtual smoke deck. On Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, give us a huge thumbs up. Again, this is our 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks before we open our brick and mortar here in Jacksonville. I tell you what, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. This is going to be major, and I'm excited for all the things that we're going to be doing and the things that we have lined up, man, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. So if you're ever in the Jacksonville area near the airport, actually, if you ever visit Jacksonville and you decide to fly in, before you go anywhere in the city, 4 minutes up the street is Dapper D's Cigars. Make sure you come and check us out. Cheapest in the city. And we pride ourselves on that. But you also going to get quality too. So with that being said, man, make sure you go ahead and support. Hit that like button. Hit that follow button. Make sure you hit that share button. And then I see you guys next Sunday at 7 where we go live with Lit Torch Susie from the Lit Torch app, man. It's going to be major. It's going to be epic. And am I missing anything? Oh, and go visit Dapper D's Cigars today for all your cigar needs and wants, man. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm